Hello there, YouTubers. Troz here. Actually been working on a kind of new video with some nice railcart stations, and I've been working on the selector switch for it. And well, this version works, but I found a small alternate version of this that has a weird quirk and can't seem to figure it out. So I thought I'd ask and see if anyone can see what's going on here, because I surely don't understand what's going on. But basically, you see this just is a normal selector switch. Push the button, light lights up. See, it works fine. Here's it's basically the same build, but you can put torches here for output, and or torches in the back. Basically, these are all droppers, and the top ones are facing down, the bottom ones are facing up. Each pair has a single item that gets moved, so that whichever one it is in kind of acts like a memory cell. So what happens is there's a bunch of repeaters here. They're all set to 4 ticks. Push the button, it goes through this pulse limiter. This takes 2 ticks to go through the pulse limiter. Then the power comes up this little half slab ladder. And then we add 1 more tick here. This isn't really necessary in this build, but if you extended this out to 15, you do need this repeater here. So after 3 ticks after pressing the button, this strip of redstone dust here powers up, and that activates these top droppers. And that moves all or any items in the top down, which would turn off the lights. What happens is the light of the button you press is still on because the button is powering it directly. However, that was at 3 ticks. At 4 ticks, the power finally gets through the repeater of the button you pressed. And that powers this block, which activates the bottom repeater, moving that item up. Item is detected by the comparator, which in this instance powers the colored block, which powers the light. So that turns on and keeps the light on once the button pops back out. So like I said before, you can take output from the front, or you can just put another set of comparators here behind, and they do detect the item through this block, and so you can get outputs out here. And of course, in this case, the output is inverted if you use the torches, or you can actually even do something like doesn't really matter. You put repeaters, and then that will be non-inverted. So that's how this version works. But at 4 blocks wide, with really the only 4th block is being this reset line, I thought, well, maybe sometimes you want to fit this in a thin wall. So can we move the reset line up above? I mean, we're powering the bottom dropper from below, so why can't we power the top dropper from above? And that's how I came up with this version. It's the same thing, but it doesn't actually act the same. So far, so good. Looks great. Green one didn't go out. Orange one puts the blue one out. Actually, all of them put the blue one out. But the green one, once it's on... It's one problem if you push this button before these limiter comes back down. You get 2 on, but if you use stone buttons, it wouldn't be as much of a problem. I just use the wood ones so they stand out more. Anyway, I found the only way to get the green power off, and you can see from the comparators up here that it's still... One push doesn't do it, but on the second one, of pushing a button directly above the dropper there, turns it off. And I have double checked that that is a dropper, it's not a dispenser. I have, using MC Edit, copied it other places and then I had different ones be an issue. Let me just build the circuit here and show that it is. What happened to my sticky piston? Yeah, so that is the dropper here. I'll just need only one sticky piston, so I'll swap it back. So you can see it does say I have a dropper in my hand right now, or before I switched. And so just put blocks here in a little V. Break out your repeaters, set them to 4 ticks. And now we're going to put upward facing droppers. And then hold shift while holding space, so I'm still flying, but yet I can place blocks down on the droppers without opening them up. Put another row on top. Now, droppers facing down. Put our lamps. And put another set of blocks here. And then comparators. And I'm just going to put normal blocks here. You can use colored wool or you can stick signs on these to tell you what they all are supposed to do. So repeater there. And then let me just get the stone half slab, just keep the theme running. Half slab, half slab, half slab. Get rid of those. I think actually depending on, well, definitely if this was, I always leave a gap. If this was right next to it, it would activate this first run, and that would be a problem. And then just put a repeater there. I don't think this size of this actually would need that in this case, but items. So now we're just filling these bottom row with one item each. So what's going on here? You just watched me build it. These first 3 work. Trying to get a view of well, let's FOV 90. Can we get a view of redstone line and the button? See, it's blinking. But these down here at the end aren't going off. I'm powering you. Why do you still have an item? Why is that happening? See, this is my problem. Why is this happening? The only thing is powered is this. Is that some sort of butt effect? You would think, though, if this was powered and this is detecting it, it would push the item out. Why do these three here work fine? But then these don't. It's the same. It's supposed to be the same. Now, to show it's not just something strange with the build, well, that it is just something strange with the build, but it's not the build fault. It's not like I'm using dispensers or droppers in the wrong spot. Dispensers instead of droppers. Repeater. Same thing, I just moved the wire to the back. That works great. Yep. What's the difference? Can anyone explain it? Can anyone tell me what's wrong with this build? Can anyone make a narrower? Well, there are narrower designs. I have seen basically a 1 block thick one that uses pistons to push redstone blocks up and down, but that was really tall. This, I mean, if I could get it to be 4 tall. Well, I guess it's actually 5. This to me is a nice size. It's not too tall. It's not too wide. It would be nice though if I could get rid of that 1 block. If I could just move it up here. The narrow version I saw was at least twice as tall, and that becomes problematic. But this is ceiling height, floor height, and normally you just do something like that, or actually you can move the whole thing down, bury it, or at least bury that line, so the buttons would be on the wall just along the floor. The lights, you'd have 3 high, and then you could put a ceiling over this, and it wouldn't be taller than a floor. But, you could still get outputs from the front or the back, depending on what you needed. But, some reason, green one sticks on. Or, in that case, all of these at the end stick on. I'm not really sure why that is. So if you can tell me why it is, or you think you have a better selector switch design. And the other reason I like this, very low resources. Basically, 1 repeater, 1 comparator, 2 pieces of redstone wire, and then 2 pieces of redstone for the droppers. And, lamps obviously a little expensive, but, there's not many components to this compared to some other designs I've seen. Well, thanks for watching. If you can tell me what's going on, leave a comment or a response video. If you have a better design, you can do the same. And if I like it, I'll even include it in the video that I'm making about nice railroad or minecart track switches. Thanks for watching.